there's something that an M4 CS has got that an M3 CS doesn't have, and it's kind of put me off M3 CS, and they're two bits of character that I think are an absolute must. So in my previous video I mentioned that I'd sold my Vegas yellow Audi R8 V10 Plus, and I took this M4 CS in as a part exchange, right? So this is now my new car. I'm currently daily driving it. This is day 3 of owning this car. And this video we're going to talk about, I suppose, well, we've got to do a first drive, but more importantly, how am I getting on with it? Is an M4 CS too raw to daily drive? Here we go then, I am back at the gym. It's been an alright little filming spot. Look, Tesla's just pulled in the car park there, look in the distance. And then I've got another Tesla here. Slowly, the electric thing is creeping in, but I'm not giving in just yet. I'm not giving in. I'm not giving in. So behind me here, I've got my my new car, 2018 BMW M4 CS. Let's just lock the car because I can hear my tunes going inside. Look, let me just show you something. Electric folding mirrors, guys. See, I didn't think it would have stuff like that, but yeah, it has little creature comforts. We'll talk about them as the video goes on. But what's different between normal M4, say an M4 Competition and M4 CS? Well, firstly, this car cost about £30,000 more when it was new, and currently on the used market, they're about £55,000–60,000, whereas a comparable competition pack car is, I suppose, £20,000 less than that. So they're a lot of money. What do you get for your extra money? You get a full carbon fibre bonnet from the M4 GTS with this sort of induction intake scoop at the front end of the bonnet there. You get the CS front splitter in carbon fibre. You get these beautiful wheels, absolutely beautiful, which are a staggered fitment, a 20-inch at the rear and then 19-inch at the front. This car's got a couple of M performance touches on it, like the side skirts there, and it's even got the mats on the interior. Then as you come around the rear, we've got a carbon fibre rear boot lid spoiler, and at the bottom we've got a carbon fibre diffuser. Now this car was spec'd with a couple of nice little extras, one of them being the M Performance exhaust, which sounds amazing. And then as we hop on the inside, well, before we do that, little hashtag on it sticker there, of course, but I am a bit unsure about the light blue colour. I think I need to get myself a dark blue one. Didn't have any to hand, so I stuck the light blue ones on temporarily. So yeah, electric folding mirrors. As we hop on the inside, we've got an Alcantara steering wheel. We've got lots of Alcantara. Like, I'm beginning to love Alcantara as a material. It's just such a nice to feel. Gives the interior sort of quite a comfortable feeling. And you've got the whole centre console there is in Alcantara. The handbrake, which is a normal handbrake, not an electronically operated handbrake. You've got the gator there, that's in Alcantara. And then these seats are unique to the CS. They've got the little M coloured stitching at the top there, and then you've got Alcantara on the inner edge of the bolsters, which is, I just love that, man, so unique. Then if we look at the door cards, this is a massive feature of the CSs. Like, how cool are them door cards? Now, I was a bit unsure about these door cards, and I was also a bit unsure about the fact that I've got no centre armrest, right? I was very sceptical about buying this car. I thought, how am I going to get on with a car with no armrest on the door cards and no armrest in the centre there? But turns out you got a little bit of an armrest there, so that's pretty good. And we'll talk about the centre armrest when we begin to drive in a sec. In fact, should we do that bit now? Let's just admire the outside of it first. There's no doubt about it, that is a seriously attractive car, and look at that bloody car. So yeah, we'll stop admiring it now. We'll jump in the driver's seat. I want to quickly talk about specs, and then we'll get on my journey to work and talk to you a bit more about how I've been getting on with this car. These door cards with these straps for handles. Now, I thought I would hate them, but I actually really love them. Like, they're a bit of a, don't get me wrong, they're a bit of a nuisance at times. Like when you open the door, say in a car park, you've got to have your other hand on that strap there, because otherwise the door will just leave your hand and be into the car next to you. Normally what you would do when you open a car door, as everyone knows, is you'd open it with that handle and then you'd grab that handle there, but by that point in this car, your door's gone into the car next to you. So it takes a bit of getting used to. Obviously the purpose of these door cards is to save weight. What is a CS? It's a club sport. It's a little bit more powerful, 10 horsepower and about 10% more torque. It's a little bit lighter. Obviously contributing factors are the bonnet and the lightweight wheels, about 30 kilograms lighter. But the bottom line is, it's a lot more money, right? And these door cards, again, they're a contributing factor to saving weight on this car. They look amazing. They're a big feature on this car. They sail through into the rear door, and I absolutely love these door cards. What you lose from having these door cards is speakers. Ultimately, you don't get no door speakers, which was one of the things that I thought, well, the R8 had all these little mod cons. It had a good sound system. It had proper door handles on the door cards. I thought, am I gonna hate this car? We'll talk about that when we go for a little drive in it. Other things that the CS has got over a normal competition pack car is, I think I just mentioned the Alcantara steering wheel with the stitching unique to the CS models at 12 o'clock. You've got the CS dash, which is actually a brand new dash, because obviously this was a categorized car. This was in an accident. Airbags went off. We've got a brand new dash in here. What else has it got that's unique on the interior? I think that's pretty much it. Spec wise, going back to like things that I would miss if I was to buy a CS and that I was concerned about or skeptical about, was it not having a reverse camera. But it actually turns out this car was spec'd with a reverse camera. It's got things like DAB, it's got your Bluetooth, it's got all the quality stuff that you'd want when you're daily driving a car. There is so far no compromise for me whatsoever. We don't have digital dual zone climate control, which I actually like the fact that it doesn't have it. It's got these analog switches, which, yeah, I don't feel like that's a problem at all. If anything, it's easier to use, and doing dual zone stuff, sometimes I find that a bit of a palaver. So yeah, so far, bit of feedback for you. I'm really liking it, all right? So what we'll do now is we'll hit the road, and I'll continue to tell you more of my concerns about this car and more of my overall feeling about it. I need to tell you lot, because I know you're going to be thinking Calvin's going to be selling this car in no time, he's not going to keep hold of it, and I'll be honest, that's kind of what I expected I'd be doing with this car. But I'm telling you right now that I do not want to sell this car, right? Obviously it will get sold at some point. It's what I do. I buy and sell cars for a living. Sometimes I think it's a bit boring keeping the car, but this car's so good, so bloody good, I really do not want a part of it yet. Yeah, we use the word yet because that's a reasonable word to use for Calvin, I think. I've got someone who wants to buy it off me right now, and I've told him I don't want a part of it, right? Because I am enjoying this car so much. I drive it down the road and I feel proud to carry that CS badge on my boot lid. This car gets attention that the R8 probably wouldn't have got. The R8 got attention from absolutely everybody. Everyone looked at that car and clearly loved it. That stood out like a sore thumb. I suppose a typical supercar road presence, it would do that, right? But this car gets attention from one type of person, petrol heads. As I drive down the road in the R8, I get people pointing at it, yeah? That's normal. In the CS, as I drive down the road, I get people giving me a thumbs up. Fair play, you are driving a CS. Now, I've mentioned a lot that I always wanted an M3 CS. That's the ultimate daily driving car for me, right? I've always wanted an M3 CS. But I soon discovered, right? I've mentioned it a lot on Instagram. This car in front is just braking. Is there a reason why it's braking? Yeah, I mentioned it a lot on Instagram that the M3 CS is my personal favourite car. They're a lot of money though, right? I'd always struggle to part with that amount of money to buy that car, because at that price point, I think they're about £60,000-ish. At that price point, you've got so many good cars, good options available to you, right? I then learned that there's something that an M4 CS has got that an M3 CS doesn't have, and it's kind of put me off M3 CS. Not to say I wouldn't have one, because the M3 over the M4 obviously offers 2 rear doors, and I think they're quite attractive. They've got like a bolder presence to them. But the M4's got 2 things, right, that an M3 CS doesn't have, and there are 2 bits of character that I think are an absolute must if you want to buy yourself a CS. One of them is the door cards. Them door cards, they're such a big feature on this car. I keep repeatedly talking about these door cards. When you're driving down the road and you look at that little belt sort of flapping around there, and you look at the finish of that door card. I've never driven a car with a door card made from this material. I don't even know what it is. Is it actually carbon fibre? I don't know, but bit of an Alcantara armrest on the door card there. It is such a nice door card, and like I said, they sail into the rear of the car. They look so nice. If you buy an M3 CS, you don't get them door cards. How annoying is that? Also, what an M4 CS has over an M3 CS is the OLED rear tail lights. As I walk up to this car with pride, I look at it and I think, wow, that's such a beautiful car. And I click the unlock button. The OLED lights are made up of multiple wafers of lights, right? LED lights, and they do like a sweeping effect. I'll put a shot over the screen now, and I look at them literally with joy. I'm like, wow, what a feature. An M3 CS doesn't have them, right? And that is the main reason why I then decided if I ever get a CS, I want an M4 CS. I got offered this car and I kind of ruled it out. What an idiot. I ruled this car out because it's category S. And Ibby is a friend of mine, of course. He's also a car trader. He's like, Calvin, trust me, when you see this car, you are gonna want this car. 100%. The repair has been done to such a good standard that it will not bother you. Now, I saw this car for the first time at my car event a few weeks ago, and Ibby was right. I saw it and I thought, I'm really impressed with the quality of the repair on that car. It was repaired twice, by the way. Those that saw my previous video would already know that. It was repaired once to a supposedly pretty good standard. Then the guy that bought this car at that point decided to get it all done again with brand new parts, and it was done to an extremely good standard. This car's done 6,700 miles. It's a low mileage car. It feels super fresh in here. Like, it is so tidy. The seats look like they've barely been satin categories. The dash, the steering wheel, everything. It is absolutely mint. I mentioned in the previous video that it even smells fresh. So I saw this back end. I saw this car as an opportunity to own an M4 CS. Now, as I was driving towards the gym there this morning, I thought to myself, would I rather have, say, a high mileage non-categorized M4 CS or this low mileage categorized M4 CS? Now, categorized cars are different from car to car. Some of them have been repaired poorly, others have been crashed badly. They really do vary from car to car. I talk about that a lot. But this particular car, I would much rather have this one as a Cat S car with the low mileage that it's got over a high mileage non-categorized car, because it is, honestly, it is so clean. It's such a nice example. Now, I don't doubt that you could look over this car and you would find little flaws in the repair, but another category, you're really going to struggle to find any flaws in the repair because it is that bloody good. Now, let's talk about daily driving this car. One of my biggest concerns was, can I daily drive a car that was really, I suppose it's a track focused car, but it's been made for the road? Am I going to miss little things like my center armrests, which I mentioned earlier, or digital climate control? What else has this got that a normal one hasn't got? A good sound system. Yeah, I was a bit concerned about the sound system, not going to lie. I'd like to drive down the road, have my tunes up, and have good sound quality, right? None of them things are anywhere near a problem as I expected they would be. The door card with no speakers in it is not a problem at all. There's a big speaker in the center of the dash there, which seems to make up for the loss of sound that comes out of the door cards. I don't know if normal competition pack cars have got them, haven't got a clue, but the sound system on this car is so bloody good. And there's a Ferrari California there. That's quite a cool car. Listen to that. So no, that don't bother me. The analog climate control I mentioned earlier, that don't bother me either. The fact that this car was spec'd with a reverse camera, I didn't realise that until the day that I bought it. I was like, oh, that's going to annoy me that it don't have a reverse camera. You don't need a reverse camera. Who the bloody hell needs a reverse camera? But it's nice to have one. So I've got all of the creature comforts that I want. I can pair my phone up to the Bluetooth. I've got DAB digital radio. This car's also got head-up display, which I didn't like in my RS7, but I don't mind the M car head-up displays. They're not too intrusive. So it's got everything that I want. It's the colour, the look, the power. We ain't talked about performance yet either. I think I'll have to do a whole separate video talking about how this thing drives, because the overall drive in a nutshell is just so good. Honestly, the performance is, I would say the power delivery even is sort of spiky, quite fierce. It feels like a tuned car. There's a bit more road noise in here than you'd get in say a competition pack car, but you know what? All these things make this car so exciting to own, to drive and to live with. And like I said earlier, I do think it's a little bit boring keeping the car, but I just don't know where I'd go from here. I don't think you can compare this to other cars. It's kind of incomparable to everything else in its league. Or is it in a league of its own? Can you compare this to, I don't know, I've sort of thought about C63 S AMG Coupe. What a nice car that is. Another bucket list car of mine, and it's something that I will get my hands on. But you know what? After driving this car, I just don't feel like anything in its price range, especially for what I've paid for this car, is comparable or as special as what this car is. So the summary of my 3 days of owning an M4 CS is, I literally love everything about this car. Honestly, it's just an absolute joy to live with. Naturally, with anything, that feeling will wear off, but I think the dilemma I'd always be faced with when I sell this car, I was going to say if I sell this car, when, because it will happen, what else will tick the boxes that this car ticks? I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to end it as that. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for all your love in the previous video. I know that I suppose at this stage I haven't yet seen the comments from that video, but I know full well you lot will be on side with this car. You know I love BMWs, you know I love M cars, and this is like the ultimate road going sort of track ready M car for me, I think. So yeah, thanks for all your support and all your love. Do me a favour guys, if you did like this video, do me a favour and hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, hit subscribe for a new video every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 o'clock. And if you're on Instagram, give me a follow on Instagram at Calvin's Car Diary. And I'll see you in the next video, alright? Bye. In the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader, yeah, I had a little bit of an incident happen. I'll get an Instagram post up in the next couple of days, and I'll get a video up explaining all on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I'll see you then.